What is freedom? Is it power? Is it wealth? Is it control? Allies, safety, family, virtue? Or maybe we're thinking too small. What if freedom is the act, the desire, the will to obtain everything under the sun? Take a hold of your freedom. A main character can only do so much. There's only so many ideologies and morals that you can instill into a character until it starts to become a clouded, diluted mess. It's what makes character arcs so important, helping narrow down who the main character really is. And it's why side characters are so important as well. They can help strengthen whatever development the protagonist is going through. But what happens when the side character becomes more important than the main character? When the story that's trying to be told just doesn't fit within the main character's character? I mean, it's not like it's never been done before. Majin Vegeta in the Buu arc, Black Star and Soul Eater, Rain and Mob Psycho, Nozomi and Sunny Boy, but none of them were done on the magnitude that One Piece has. Well, honestly, none of them could. One Piece is unique in the simple fact that quantity isn't an issue for them. They have the canvas to build out ideas over hundreds of episodes. It's one of the greatest strengths that One Piece has, and it's one of the reasons that I believe Wano is the greatest arc in One Piece. Momonosuke is the main character of Wano, and it's to re-emphasize the crux of what One Piece represents. A character who was born into prosperity and at the same time has seen everything fall into flames. Losing both his mother and father, two highly respected figureheads in Wano County, he became solely responsible for the Kozuki clan's future. An 8-year-old with the power of an entire country, filling in the shoes of a man whose name itself can bring chills down one's spine, which is where Momonosuke's problems truly lie. Momonosuke is the spitting image of Odin, not only in looks, which we see later on in the arc, but just in terms of what he stands for, the way of the samurai. A very stubborn yet prideful path. Throughout all media, samurai are depicted as the calm and skillful warrior who most of the time is leagues above their adversaries, due to the time and dedication they've spent honing their foundations. It's something that's built through many, many years of practice, which is exactly what Momonosuke doesn't have. Once again, Momonosuke is an 8-year-old walking a grown man's path. He admired Odin, not only as a father, but also as a samurai that he one day wanted to become. As much as Momonosuke tries, he just can't get to where he wants to, at least not yet. So for now, his strengths must lie within the allies he makes, namely Luffy. It's only in the rewatch of Wano where I truly found the value in Momonosuke's crying. I mean, at face value, it's just a boy who won't stop crying. Yes, it bothered me. But as more is revealed, it means so much more. In the moment where Kaido confronts Momonosuke in the burning Kozuki clan's castle, holding him over the balcony ledge facing death, Kaido asks for his name, but all that comes out are his tears and the call for his father. In the defining moment, Momonosuke couldn't find his voice, which is where Luffy comes in. There's something about Luffy in the way that he sees situations. I mean, he's not the smartest person on earth, so I may be giving him too much credit, but he's almost always able to see the bigger picture within someone else. For example, his fight with Vivi in Alabasta. Just one look at this kingdom and even I can tell what needs to be done. Vivi is willing to die for the country, but it's a sacrifice that will end in vain because what the country needs isn't a martyr, but a capable leader. A leader who isn't afraid to listen to the people around them. Luffy knows how to bring out the best in people, and it's why he's so crucial to Momonosuke's development. The first scene to kickstart this is so small compared to the situation they're preparing for, but it means so much in how this character is able to develop. It's in the creation of the Ninja Pirate Mink Samurai Alliance that the Straw Hats are asked for their help to take down Kaido, and there's no reason for them to say no to this request. At the end of the day, to be king of the pirates, Kaido will eventually stand in his way, so it's another chess piece that Luffy must knock down in order to progress in the race to the One Piece. But the request was coming from the wrong person. Luffy isn't the type of character to help somebody out of the kindness of his own heart. Freedom isn't something that's given to you, it's something that's attained. He asked Luffy, not as Momonosuke, but as the future head of the Kozuki clan, to defeat Kaido and free Wano from his shackles. I cannot emphasize enough how important this scene is. Momonosuke will be met with much harder challenges in the future than asking for help from some pirate. If he can't do the bare minimum, then how could Luffy ever trust him to be an ally? And so in earning Luffy's respect, he decides to help them retake Wano, Luffy becoming the Kickstarter to Momo's development, being the one to give Momonosuke his voice back. And they ended up defeating Kaido and living happily ever after. Right, that's not how it works. You know, character development isn't, and honestly should never be, a one-time kickstart that fixes the entire character. We have to gradually progress to that stage in the story, so there are some moments where he's still going to need that push to get the ball rolling. I think the best depiction of this, though, is in the prisoner minds of Udon. When Luffy liberated the slaves who were working in the camp, he forced Momonosuke to stand in front of the former samurai. Momo, お前は本当バカだし. Sending insult after insult towards Momo. Luffy no longer cares to sugarcoat it. Momonosuke is the future leader of Wano. This is a necessary step in where he wants to be, who he wants to become. This scene gives us Momonosuke's first true realization of how big Oda truly was to this country and the people who fought for it. It's initially intimidating and he wants to back away, but what he wants to become won't allow it. He's plagued by his inability to be strong mentally, and in every similar moment, he's reminded of how he couldn't say who he was to Kaido. So instead, he takes a step forward. He gives a heartfelt speech, asking the prisoners for help, not because he's the future head of the Kozuki clan, not because he's Oden's son, but because just like them, he also admired his father in a way so special it brings tears to his eyes. そのためには志を共にする仲間が和の国に生きるお前たちの力が必要なんだ。ここにいる者たちの思いは一つ。和の国を取り返す。He shares the same feelings as the warriors in front of him, so unable as a child to do anything about it, he once again asks for help from those strong enough to truly make an impact. So over the course of the arc, Momonosuke gains his voice, but voice alone isn't enough to create your own freedom. Once again, freedom is something that's attained through your own grasp, and no matter how hard he tried, Momonosuke's grasp would never be large enough. So something had to change. The catalyst. It happened. True passion can triumph through anything in this world. When Luffy was on the verge of dying and impelled down, it wasn't a miracle worked by Ikenov that saved him. It was the strength of his will that gave him life. I mean, it's kind of poetic, right? In order to gain life, Luffy had to give it up first. What's the point of the future if you're not willing to do everything to attain it? Momonosuke knows. He knows that currently he's useless. He's been useless for the entirety of the raid and nothing has changed. And so he sees his ally lying half dead on the ground, fighting to free his country. So he makes a decision, one that changes everything that he's represented up to now. Sacrifice. It's something that seems to be the constant in the world of One Piece, where characters are constantly fighting for their freedom. His father sacrificed himself and put his trust in the future. Well, the future is now, and Momonosuke must do the same. He sacrifices his youth, and once again places his trust in Luffy. And just like Oden, Momonosuke's bet paid off. Luffy wins against Kaido, and Momonosuke takes back Wano. So what makes this the best arc in One Piece? Clickbait aside, I truly believe that Wano is one of the greatest arcs that One Piece has delivered to us. S-tier animation, S-tier world building, S-tier foreshadowing, and yeah, these are all amazing, but there's something that stuck with me through its entirety, even before Wano really started, and that's Momonosuke, a character who's grown with us and built an inseparable emotional attachment to him and the crew. It's close to the attachment many form with Vivi during the Alabasta arc, but it's not close enough. There's something fulfilling about how the small, scared pink dragon that Luffy found on Punk Hazard ends his story head lowered with pure gratitude for not only the freedom that the Straw Hats have brought to his country, but the journey they've taken him on, developing him into a man whose trust in others makes him capable of attaining his own freedom. Freedom in voice, freedom in actions, freedom in his grasp. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. For further support, feel free to join the membership page for shoutouts at the end of videos, as well as some behind the scenes community posts. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about Wano as an arc. And with that, peace out.